This video is this presentation is focusing on nature rather than on me. Morning. The beauty of nature. That's our blessing. I think you're better served looking at this while you're hearing the realities than looking at me. The issue is what prevails today, the concerns that everybody has, the impact of this devastating war on the environment, human life, the environment, economies, the future, people's state of mind, future generations' ability to handle differences effectively, amicably, rather than through violence. Now, I am not here to cast judgment. Many nations have been involved in activities that are questionable. Many nations have inflicted pain on others within their societies and elsewhere. I'm not here to cast judgment on any nation in particular. I'm going to speak to a truth that while we point fingers, the man in the mirror needs to be assessed very carefully. Focus needs to be placed on the man in the mirror. And when you think of a nation understanding fully well, a nation filled with psychologists, yes, psychiatrists, psychologists, highly skilled professionals, that nation sits silent as their leader demonstrates traits, severe traits of a disorder. It's very visible. We can lie about it, but even an unprofessional, even an untrained person sees fully well that the leader is sick, is ill. The leader's expressions clearly articulate that something is desperately wrong with the individual. The person is in need of help. And I'll take you to an experience I had years ago when I worked. My dad was ill and in the hospital, and he ran his own business. He worked for a company, was a manager of a company. And during his illness, I was working the night shift within a hotel. And coming off duty, I had to go to complete his assignments with the company that he managed. That was a furniture establishment. Then I had to go and do the gas delivery, which was also one of his businesses. I had to attend to the lawnmower business that he had. I had to dispatch the individual. I had to go to the hospital to address his needs. And I'm talking about not having rested because I worked the night shift. And you think about the impact of that. I went to work and came off and watched a cricket match the morning. When I was driving from the cricket match, I saw the road fall in front of me. Visual disorder. The road fell and down. I pressed the brake, stepped on the brake. By this I had a van load of cricket enthusiasts on the back of the van. Heading about 20 miles. And I stepped on the brakes. And I got out of the vehicle and asked them, don't you see the road going down? Like we're sinking. They said, no, man. I said, you see the road sinking? They said, no. I said, man, jump back in the vehicle and drive. No. I did. And when I got to about half the journey or more, I went by a friend. I went and I said to him, tell me something. Isn't the road going down? Isn't everything going downhill? He said, no. I said, well, something must be wrong with me. Evidently, something is wrong with me. And so I drove straight home. By this, my dad had come back from the hospital. And I went to him. As a matter of fact, they ran to him and said something was wrong with me. And I went to him and I asked him, is the road turned downhill? He said, no. I said, clearly something is wrong. My dad wouldn't lie to me. I went to the doctor. Well, before that, I went to work the evening. And I said, since I was going east and the road was down, I was going downhill in my mind. So when I'm going west, I'm supposed to be going uphill. That would prove to me if something was wrong. That was my method of assessing the situation. The beauty of the blossoms. Mango. Blue skies. So I'm driving in a bus this time. I'm sitting looking through the window, and surely enough, everything was going downhill. That was when I awoke to the reality that something was wrong with me. I went to work and fell asleep on the job. And I remember, apparently they were trying to wake me for quite some time, and when I awoke, they said, what's the matter with you? On a glance, my manager looked and she said, something clearly was wrong. So what's the matter with you? She said, if you're sick, you don't come to work. You go to the doctor. So somebody took over the switchboard the night. The next morning, I went to this doctor in Ora Cabeza, called Golden Head. And when the doctor started, when he started his examinations, he had this little hammer that he tapped on my knees. Tapped my knees, and there was absolutely no reflex, no response. He looked at me wide-eyed. He said, what's the matter with you? What happened? He tapped again. No response, no reflexes. And then he asked, what have you been doing? And I told him how I was burning the candle at all the different ends. He wrote me up for sick leave, vacation leave. He said if I could give you maternity leave, I'd give you. I was burnt out. And it led to a visual problem. Impacted the way I was seeing things. I was sick. And I was treated, taken off the job by a doctor who understood that something was severely wrong with me. Why do I take you through this? I asked the question, where are the psychiatrists and the psychologists, the psychoanalysts, all these professionals in this great nation who see that their leader is very ill and they all allow him, just like those guys allowed me to drive them, allow him to take them and the whole world down this path. No, you're going to blame him? No. Blame yourselves. I speak to the community along a racial line, I speak to them. You are responsible. I speak to my people of the diaspora within the nation to say to you, you witness all that's happening. What do? Do you speak? Or do you continue to feed the system to provide the resources that the bombs can keep falling, that the weapons of war can continue to be aimed at nations, destroying the environment, destroying populations? You've been silent. I'm speaking to the consciences of people near and far. This is not to score points. This is not for likes. This is an awakening of the consciences of the people of this world. We're all guilty. We're all guilty. And I speak to the destruction of the environment, and I'll share this with you, to humanity. The strong winds rage towards our shores, the ancient mountains quake. Earth says she can bear no more, she's full, for goodness sake. As we annihilate the trees, the hills stretch long and bare. As we destroy the world around, the dark clouds shed a tear on humanity. Can you feel her pain? Oh humanity, will she weep in vain? Humanity, can you hear her cry? Oh humanity, countless souls may die. Miles and miles across the globe, brothers waste away. Frightened victims got no hope, hurting night and day. Doctors say they've got no cure, brothers take no heed. Reckless, crazy games they play, Mother Earth now bleeds for humanity. The plates now shift, the polar melts from deeds that we have done. The ozone's gone, the temps betray the fury of the sun. The bombs you test beneath the earth and seas in sonic boom. Bring dreadful waves upon the land and wreak horrendous doom on humanity. Soon you'll be baking, soon you'll be quaking. Ignore the plea and you'll be mistaken. Heed the warning, you're on the wrong track. It's head-on collision. You've got to turn back humanity. Can you hear her plea? Oh humanity, look while you can see. Humanity, danger lies in store. Oh humanity, earth can take no more. This from mental laxative for national healing. Purging of the minds for the healing of the nation. People, where is the conscience at a time as this? I speak to you. Where is the conscience? It needs to be awakened. I seek to awaken the conscience. So, at a time when we all witness this tragedy, and we witness the destruction of the environment, many are silent and are only thinking about the next dollar. Don't sell your souls. You will have to account for your inaction in the process. Time will judge you. It is shameful. And I speak today to the fact that you have been willing to see someone else abused because you are not affected. You've been silent on the issues for a very long time because it never knocked your door. Now that your door is visited, you're being very vocal. What about the atrocities meted out against others? Our nation African people have been assaulted by invaders back in time. Our nation has been abused, our people, and the world was silent. Today, many nations are now recipient of the very same abuse. And only then do you begin to hear people speaking up because they're impacted. For so long, our nation has been recipient of all the pain, the anguish. For so long. Why were you silent? Well, today, it's a stark reality that you face. It spread the germ across the world. Abusing nations, robbing. Stealing people's resources. Life has no meaning to you. You don't value life. But at some point in time comes the awakening. So you're silent as others are impacted. Silent because it wasn't aimed at you. But now that the aim is being taken, now that the aim has been taken, it's aimed in your direction. It's a painful process, and not one that you're prepared to handle, not one that you're prepared to deal with. Where is the conscience in all of this? Where is the conscience? Conscience must be awakened. Awakening of the conscience. Now is the moment. Look at the beauty of nature. And all some think about is to extract resources, exploit. No respect for people's boundaries. No respect for people's territories. Here comes race, restoring a clean environment. National healing and environmental and cultural approach. APOD, African people of the diaspora. It's your time to awaken from your sleep. You've been sleeping for far too long. You've been hypnotized. Day by day, our chances slip away, our nation stands divided, our people gone astray. Day by day, the signals we ignore, the warning signs that face us 1,000 times before. But you should pause a while and ask yourselves today, what will be my future when our nation's lost, and say, I'm gonna do something before the world comes crashing down on me. Day by day, the enemy surrounds. And now they're posed to strike like vipers often do. We're hypnotized, my friends. And now our eyes are blinded. Energies we're wasting while our charge been cast aside. You should pause a while and ask yourselves today, what will be my future when our nation's lost, and say I'm going to do something before the world comes crashing down on me. Not far away I see our brothers dying as others take their place. Yet each day for others we are toiling. Energies we're wasting, and soon the same will face. You should pause a while and ask yourselves today, what will be my future when our nation's lost, and say I'm gonna do something before the world comes crashing down on me. The beauty of earth. You're given this paradise. What have you done? Your only duty was to protect it, preserve it. What have you done? What have you done? That's a question I ask of you today. This is not for likes. This is the awakening. What have you done with this beautiful thing called earth? Earth says, I'm weeping in my heart, I'm hurting in my soul. I've borne the pain so long, I'm about to lose control. You burned my forests, destroyed my trees to satisfy your greed. The messengers to you have been sent, but you still fail to take heed. You plant the seeds, I spit them out. The rivers could well run dry. Many among you sure will weep, and I'll ignore your cry. Say to you, one and all, strive to preserve the land, or you shall bear the dreadful pain, obey, or feel my hand. Earth's cry from mental laxative for national healing. Maybe not the same words. Mental laxative for national healing. Emperor Elijah, Abeid Kazembe Moata, Franklin J. Wallace. How much longer shall you abuse this beautiful paradise? How much longer? All you can see is extraction of her resources for greed. You value paper over this beautiful paradise. You value paper. No regard for life. The sanctity of life. You only seek to stack up paper. And many fall. Many fall for this folly. It's time for the awakening. I speak to you one and all. I speak to you. Speak to your consciences, awaken. With mental constipation, the trend cannot be broken. You cannot hear the words of the prophets when they're spoken. You wallow in the lies of the evil ones around you and validate their lies. Preach the rubbish that they tell you. You are like walking dead. Heed the vision of the dry bones. The matter in your head is as dead as river stones. Your minds are on a treacherous path which will never be averted. Until of this impending danger, you are all alerted. Your system filled with poison, yes, you are intoxicated with myths and fable, very carefully calculated. Aimed to keep your eyes so blind you sit in your captivity and never realize the truth. It's very great reality. You are a noble people who from this must be delivered. Return to your glorious land from which you have been severed, to sing the great song of the Most High in the hills of Zion, to see the beauty of the land and hear the roaring lion. Take heed, my people, turn around, receive your salvation. Discard unhealthy practices which doom you to destruction. Cleanse your minds of all the toxins to which it has been fed, and see if too your glorious land you all won't be led. APOD African people of the diaspora, near and far, speak to you today. Speak to the consciences. Awaken. Awaken. I'll speak. I'll continue to speak. Will you listen? Will you turn a deafened ear? Will you turn a blinded eye? There are consequences. You got this beautiful earth to preserve. What will you do? What will you do when the ships refuse to sail? Tell me, my friends, how will you prevail? The final call is nearing. We're on the verge of war, and still we're divided and scattered in lands afar. What will you do when the rations have run low? Will you be served, or will you be the first to know? A mom first serves her children before she feeds the rest, and only in your homeland will you receive the best. Pack your bags and leave captivity. Heed the story of Lot, my friend. Pack your bags and leave immorality, or you're gonna face a dreadful end. The heinous acts being performed by some with no heart, no soul, is evident today. Heinous acts against humanity. Where do you stand? Are you silent? Are you vocal? Will you speak? Or will you cower away? Be the lions you're meant to be. Stop being like feeble sheep. Awaken. Speak to the consciences. This is the voice of reason. ANN African News Network. APOD African People of the Diaspora. SCI Someone Cares Inspiration. Race Restoring a Clean Environment. It's a nationwide community support initiative. National transformation. National healing and environmental and cultural approach. The solution rests in the hands of the man in the mirror. Look in the mirror.